Hello. Today I am not going to talk anything about civil engineering, but in this video I would like to express few views in connection with how important it is to have scientific outlook for people as well as the society, and moreover how one has to only believe in science that really leads to the progress. I would like to take first example that in 1630, we just imagine that in 1630, a person living in England, I mean, all his relatives, mother, father, uncle, all they died because of TB. And that time, there was no medicine for TB, it was fatal. And therefore, out of fear, he shifted to USA along with his wife. He was a teacher, so while shifting to USA, he took his 300 books as well as some money, and then he settled in USA. But there, after going there, after a few years, he got pneumonia, and he realized that he would die soon. Then he called his wife, and he told to donate all those 300 books as well as money to nearby church, and he requested the church to start a library for the needy students as well as start a school. Then church agreed to his last wish. That person died, and that church started a library as well as a school. Now eventually that school grew into a large institute, rather university, and nowadays it is called as Howard University. You all know that Howard University is one of the topmost universities in the world. Now the name of that person was John Howard. So this tells that why some countries progress like anything, because there were people, or rather there are people, who don't think only about individual success, but they think about group success. For many of the people, especially middle class people, or more particularly Indian people, the definition of success is very narrow. For them, having a few bucks with them, or maybe having a bungalow and number of vehicles, that is the definition of success. Of course, that is needed, but as said by one of the Shair famously, that Shitaro ke aage jahan aur bhi hai. So, life is not only about just making money and individual success. It is all about societal success. So, you just imagine 1600 in 1630 or 34. I mean, almost 400 years back, more than that. John Howard, he thought something, and now it has grown into a big university. Similarly, one more example I would like to quote here. In 1855, a chemistry professor who was living in Pennsylvania, he used to smoke a cigarette in the evening. So one day, while he smoked a cigarette, and he threw the half-burnt cigarette into a wet mud behind him, and then he noticed that instead of that cigarette getting burnt off, uh, that mud caught the fire. Now, since he was excellent professor in chemistry, he got curious, and he collected that wet mud into a bag, and immediately he went to his laboratory, and day and night he started working on that. And then he found out that there was a paraffin wax like substance uh, which was responsible for burning. Then he tried to apply a patent on that, but in Pennsylvania he didn't know how to approach, so he went to Canada. with his product. In Canada Patent Office, they asked the name of his product. So he thought that it is oil-like substance which has emerged out of rock, because it was I mean rock and mud together. So he just named it as rock oil. So nowadays we call it a rock oil. So he invented that rock oil, and that too in 1855. So just imagine if the same thing, if it would have happened in India, then all the new channels would have shown. Uh, I mean, instead of the scientific approach or understanding the science behind it, all the new channels would have shouted that देखो कुदरत का करिश्मा, पानी में भी आग लग रहा है, ये तो चमत्कार हो गया, इसे भारत कहते हैं, समथिंग लाइक दैट. So that is the difference, that why some progressive countries, they are at a different level, and why still some people are not reaching to that height or to that level. Because what I firmly believe is, one has to believe in science, uh, one has to have the awareness of individual as well as group success or societal success, and always one is to have scientific approach. That is the only way we can progress. All other ways, they just lead to less progress, or to very frank, to the disasters. So that is what I just wanted to share. Thank you.